we're going to begin with a letter from 43 foxhole buddies, somewhere in New Guinea. That's right, 43. Count 'em. They want to know if by request can show them some scenes of the University of Kentucky where they trained, and a few shots of Lexington, Kentucky, which most of them feel is sort of a second hometown. Well, 43 names is a lot of names. So here's your request, fellas.
Here's the main street of Lexington with a glimpse of the Phoenix Hotel, where the Army still quarters GIs in training at Kentucky U. And here's the old Keith Chop House. After hours or while on pass, the enlisted men continue to drop in for a glass of beer and to pass the time with the girls who serve the light and mellow brew. You 43 men especially wanted a picture of Joyland, so naturally we include it. But right now, business is a little slow. The roller coaster only takes the curves on Sundays, and it's going to be like that until we get to Tokyo. How's this for a shot of the campus at Kentucky U? Looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? A different bunch of GIs, of course, but they too go for this bluegrass terrain and the famous Kentucky bells in a big way. It won't be long now before most of these fellows will be shipped to ETO, or the South Pacific, as engineer personnel. That's why, sooner or later, they get around to visiting that statue of Prexy Patterson. Like you fellows on New Guinea who wanted to see these pictures, they found Kentucky U a fine place, and they'd like a snapshot in their wallets to sort of remind them of what it was like.
We've received a barrel of requests from the Pacific Theater for a certain well-known party stationed in Seattle, and we think she should introduce herself.
Here's Jill and the G.I. Jive.
Hi, you fellas. This is G.I. Jill with G.I. Jive. Sort of a special edition today, fellas, in answer to your requests. Just time for two things. A favorite tune and a quick reminder to send me a picture of you. That's right. A picture of you from my Pin-Up Boy collection. Don't forget, huh? Now here's that tune I was talking about. Hallelujah. That just about winds up this miniature edition of G.I. Jive. Thanks a million for requesting a look at me. Till tomorrow when I'll be G.I. Jiving your way, this is Jill saying good morning to some of you, good afternoon to some more of you, and to the rest of you, good night.
Half a dozen GIs from New York have written in asking for a glimpse of Easter Day, 1945 in the big town.
As in past years, Easter meant going to church for most New Yorkers. Outside St. Patrick's Cathedral, folks lined the sidewalks, then passed slowly into the dimly lighted church to pray for their loved ones fighting the enemy at Okinawa, at the gates of Berlin, or in the high, thin air over China. For them, as for those attending St. John's Cathedral further uptown, including this large group of waves, there was a husband or a brother or a sweetheart who they wanted safe and well. It was a happier Easter than last year. There were losses in many families, but there was also the bright prospect of victory and peace, much closer than it had ever been before. And because of this, Americans of all faiths, in all walks of life, gathered in every section of New York to give thanks. And after church was over, to to take part in the parades that started in the warm sunlight. The largest crowds, as every year, gathered along Fifth Avenue where cathedral bells pealed and all traffic was halted. If anything, the hats were a little screwier this year, resembling everything from flower pots to bird cages. Home for rehabilitation, a wounded soldier was seen occasionally. And that's Henry Kaiser and his wife. Jammed too was famed Radio City with its lavish display of Easter flowers, its wide-eyed kids drinking in the excitement, and its regular quota of beautiful New York girls.
P5 Lloyd Farrar, stationed somewhere in China, would like to hear an old-fashioned song for a change. None of this jive stuff. He writes, how about something like Down by the Old Mill Stream? All right, P5 Farrar, we'll try to oblige with some very top talent from Hollywood.
Ready, men. 1, 2, 3.
Here's the lineup from left to right. Jimmy Durante, Alan Jenkins, Sterling Holloway, Hugh Herbert, William Gargan, Ed Brophy, Andy Devine, Alan Hale, Robert Benchley, and Arthur Treacher.
Down by the old mill stream.
Ripple, ripple, little stream, are you wetter than you seem?
Where I first met you.
Ride a cock horse to Danbury Cross. Woo! Was that trip necessary?
With your eyes so blue.
Jack was nimble, Jack was quick. Jack jumped over a candlestick. 1A.
Dressed in gingham, and
If I didn't care, honey child, I wouldn't notice how you were dressed, honey child.
it was there I knew.
Now, what did you accomplish by that?
From your promise at the room.
You were 16. Oh, you were 16? Woo!
She sounds a lot older than that.
My village queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack Queen.
There it is for this time. Keep the letters coming. Don't forget, by request, Army Navy Screen Magazine, New York City.